For years, I was convinced I was just a bad sleeper, doomed to be tired forever. I would lie awake for hours, my mind racing, and then stumble through the next day, feeling like a complete zombie. The ceiling was my closest confidant. The alarm clock was my sworn enemy. I tried it all: chamomile tea, meditation apps, even those weird herbal supplements that smell like dusty old socks. Nothing even made a dent. Then, I stumbled upon a ridiculously simple switch, something that was right there the whole time, that let me finally take control of my body's internal clock and get the best sleep of my life. And no, it didn't involve expensive gadgets or weird potions. It was all about light. I know, it sounds way too simple to be the answer, but understanding this one biological fact changed absolutely everything. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. Before we get to the fix, you have to really understand the problem. And for me, this wasn't just an occasional bad night. It was a chronic, soul-crushing, energy-draining pattern. My days were a total blur of caffeine and brain fog. I was irritable, my work suffered, and my hobbies? Gone. I just didn't have the energy. I'd chug coffee all afternoon just to stay functional, which, of course, only made it harder to sleep that night. It was the perfect vicious cycle. I'd climb into bed, physically exhausted, but my brain would suddenly decide it was the perfect time to host a citywide debate tournament. Every single worry, every embarrassing memory from middle school, every item on the next day's to-do list would show up, completely uninvited. But the worst part? The feeling of total helplessness. I really started to believe that this was just my lot in life, that I was biologically wired to be a night owl in a world built for early birds, and I just have to accept being permanently exhausted. This is the trap so many of us fall into. We treat the symptom, the not sleeping part, without ever looking at the root cause. We think we need something to force us into being tired, like a pill or a special tea. But what if our bodies already know how to sleep perfectly? What if we're just sending them all the wrong signals? That was the big aha moment for me. I wasn't a bad sleeper. I was just really bad at managing light. Okay, here's the science part, but I'll make it painless. Deep inside your brain, there's this tiny little spot called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. Just think of it as the master clock for your entire body. This clock runs your circadian rhythm. That's the natural 24-hour cycle that tells you when to feel awake and when to feel sleepy. So what winds this master clock every day? It's not your alarm. It's not your work schedule. It's light. Specifically, light hitting your eyeballs. For pretty much all of human history, this system worked flawlessly. Humans woke up when the sun came up, got tons of bright, natural light all day, and then, when the sun went down, it got dark. That darkness was the critical signal for the brain to start producing a hormone called melatonin. Now, melatonin doesn't knock you out like a sleeping pill. It's more like the starter pistol at a race. It just signals to your whole body that it's nighttime and time to start winding down for sleep. But look at our world now. We live in a state of what I call light confusion. We wake up in pitch black rooms, commute in cars, work under dim, sad office lights. And then, here is the biggest mistake. We blast our eyes with incredibly bright light for hours after the sun has set. Our phones, our laptops, our TVs, even our overhead LED lights are all shooting out a ton of blue light, which is especially good at tricking your brain. When your master clock sees that bright, blue light at 10 p.m., it doesn't know it's 10 p.m. It thinks it's high noon. So, it slams the brakes on melatonin production, basically yelling, "Wake up," at your body. Is it any surprise we can't fall asleep? We're telling our brain it's daytime while begging it to go to sleep for the night. You can't have it both ways. I realized the key wasn't about finding a new bedtime routine. It was about fixing my light exposure through the entire day. Once I understood how powerful light was, the solution became crystal clear. I built a simple, 4-step protocol around one core idea: give my brain the right kind of light at the right time. The best part? It's completely free. Step 1. Anchor your day with morning sunlight. This is, without a doubt, the most important thing you can do for your sleep. Within the first hour of waking up, you need to get outside and let 5 to 10 minutes of direct sunlight hit your eyes. If it's a really overcast day, you'll need a little more time, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, because the clouds scatter the light. Here's why this is a game changer. That early morning light is packed with the specific blue frequencies that tell your master clock the day has officially started. This does two things. First, it triggers a healthy pulse of cortisol that helps you feel sharp and alert. Second, and this is the magic part, it starts a countdown timer for melatonin to be released later that night. By getting that morning sun, you are literally programming your brain to get sleepy at the right time, about 14 to 16 hours later. And no, staring out a window doesn't cut it. Window glass filters out a huge chunk of the specific light waves your brain needs to get that strong signal. You have to actually get outside. Don't stare at the sun, obviously. Just face its general direction. I made this my non-negotiable habit. I take my coffee on the porch or walk the dog, whatever it takes to get those 10 minutes in. It wakes you up better than coffee and lays the foundation for a great night's sleep. Step 2. Maximize daytime light. The signal can't just stop after 10 minutes. Throughout the day, your brain keeps benefiting from bright light. If you work in an office, try to sit near a window. Take a walk on your lunch break. The more natural light you get during the day, the stronger that it's daytime signal becomes. This creates a powerful contrast between a bright day and a dark night, which is exactly what your circadian rhythm is designed for. Step 3. Create a digital sunset. This is where we undo the damage most of us are doing every evening. Just like sunrise signals, wake up, sunset needs to signal, wind down. My rule is simple. 2 hours before I want to be asleep, the big overhead lights go off. I switch to using only warm-toned lamps, placed low to the ground. There's just something about overhead lighting that feels stimulating to the brain. And, most importantly, the screens have to go away. If I absolutely have to use my phone or laptop, I crank the brightness all the way down and use the warmest night mode setting. But ideally, that last hour is totally screen-free. The blue light from these devices is a direct order to your brain to kill melatonin production. Avoiding it is just as important as getting light in the morning. I started reading a real, physical book or listening to a podcast. It felt weird at first, but now it's a calming ritual my brain associates with shutting down. Step 4. Sleep in a cave. When it's finally time for bed, your room needs to be as dark as you can possibly get it. I mean dark. Even tiny amounts of light from a charging brick or a street light peeking through the blinds can mess with your sleep quality and melatonin. I invested in some decent blackout curtains. I put a tiny piece of black electrical tape over the little LED lights on my router and air purifier. The goal is a room so dark you can't see your hand in front of your face. This gives your brain the clear, unmistakable signal of darkness that it needs to stay in a deep, restorative sleep all night. It's wild how these 4 simple, totally free steps completely turn my sleep around. It wasn't instant, but after a week or so of sticking with it, I felt a massive difference. I started actually feeling tired at bedtime. I fell asleep faster, and I started waking up feeling genuinely refreshed for the first time in years. So now I want to hear from you. What's the one thing you struggle with the most when it comes to sleep? Drop it in the comments below, and let's talk about it. So, let's recap the mission. 1. Get 5 to 10 minutes of direct morning sunlight, ideally within an hour of waking up, to set your body's clock. 2. Get as much bright, natural light as you can throughout the day. 3. Create your own personal sunset by dimming the lights and ditching screens an hour or 2 before bed. And 4. Sleep in a pitch-black cave. That's the whole playbook. This isn't some new biohack. It's a biological necessity that our modern lives have made us forget. For years, I thought my sleep was just broken. It turns out, my body knew exactly what to do all along. I just had to learn to speak its language, the language of light. By controlling the light in my environment, I took back control of my energy, my mood, and my health. And you absolutely can too.